All right, Tyler. Well, thanks, Amin, for speaking with us. I just want to know, because when I think of being 21, I was probably just proud that I could buy my first grown-up drink. And here you are sending your team, into the semifinals of the Champions League. How do you put last night into words? How did it feel now that the dust has settled a little bit?
Yeah, so for me, I would say obviously a little bit unexpected to score a goal. But, most bluntly, just pure excitement, pure joy, a moment that, in a sense, you wish that you could celebrate with your family in person and at the competition, of course. But, being able to pick up the phone and call them and see the excitement on their faces, talking to them, they don't even have they can't even speak because they lost their voices screaming at the television. It's an exciting moment for me.
And what was, I suppose, the reaction like as well from not just your family, but your friends and probably some other players? Because I know as soon as you scored, Twitter went mental, and we saw, tweets from someone that works with us, Hercules Gomez. I know you got to chat with DeAndre Yedlin, just, couldn't find the words. He just had to say your name. So, have any of them reached out to you and just said, bruh, that was serious?
Yeah, all of them have reached out to me, and, I thank them so much for the continuous support throughout it all. A lot of these people have obviously played a role in my development, not just as a player, but as a person. So I think that, seeing them all reach out and the excitement for them is a special moment, because that just goes to show that, how close we are as a community, the soccer community, but also, how the impact that scoring a goal like that affects everyone. It makes everyone happy. So it's a huge moment.
And like I said, huge moment. Just thinking of the goal itself again. I know you have those that will say, well, it's a little deflection in, but you said, you know what, a goal is a goal, and you're taking it as you absolutely should. And people are already trying to rank it in terms of US goal scorers, how meaningful, if it's the most meaningful goal of all time so far for American players. How do you see it, even just for your career?
Yeah. Of course, it's a huge moment, but most importantly, I'm excited that it puts our team into the semifinal now, and it gives us a real chance to raise a trophy. Because at the end of the day, that's all in my mind. You could be the first player to do this, the first player to do that, but at the end of the day, you want to be the first American to raise a Champions League trophy. So we put ourselves in a closer position to do that now. We're 2 games away. We have a big competition next, obviously, against PSG, but it's pure excitement for that. We're up for the challenge.
And like I said, you definitely want to, live in the moment, let it sink in, because massive achievement to get to the next round. But next, you do have PSG, as you just mentioned, the likes of Neymar, Kylian Mbappe, etc. How do you plan to tackle that match, or have you not really thought of that just yet?
Yeah, we haven't thought about it quite yet. Of course, you can say those names, right? And you just think of the individual talent that they have, and what they've done and achieved already, both of them at such a young age, winning World Cups, winning the Olympics, such big achievements. How you stop that, I don't think there's a written game plan to how you can stop Neymar or Mbappe. But I think that we're confident in our defensive abilities. We're confident in our team's ability. So we know that we have to go out there, continue to fight for each other, because that's what makes us so good. And, this fearless mentality that our team has, being such a young team, we go into these games just thinking we can win everything. So, like I said, confidence is key in these types of moments, but going out there and obviously being able to execute is huge as well.
And I suppose you're right in the fact that Leipzig is still such a young team. You, of course, being a young American too. And everything is just, nothing to lose, everything to gain at this point that you've gotten to this level. So what would getting into the Champions League final just mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can even put words to that, right? I mean, the emotions would obviously be gushing, but yeah, for me, it would be such an amazing achievement. But I think that, most importantly, with the mentality that we all have is, reaching the Champions League final is great. But I mean, if you've made it all that way, you don't want to go home empty-handed. You want to obviously be able to raise some silverware. And yeah, if that happens, then, obviously we would all be in awe.
Definitely. And I think that one of the things too about that a lot of people have been talking about is the fact that now this almost mini Champions League kind of tournament that it's just all knockouts kind of makes the whole league even more exciting, and it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. I mean, we saw how close Atalanta were with PSG, and then now what we've seen with you guys do over Atletico Madrid, who we know have a wealth of experience in this Champions League. So have you found that it does level the playing field a bit?
100%. When you take away the aggregate and obviously having to go to an away venue with just away fans, and then going back at home and, sometimes relying on, that home tie to, bang out a result. This definitely levels the playing field. And, when we saw the structure of the tournament and how it was going to be set up, we knew that this gave us an amazing opportunity to go on and, win 3 games and you're through. So if you play three, good games, you're most likely going to walk away with a win in the tournament. On the other hand, we do know that there's so many good teams left in the competition. So for us, it's about, grinding out those results, but also keeping a level head on our shoulders and, being able to, in a clever way, being able to manage the games, because against teams like PSG, it's not going to be easy for 90 minutes. Also coming off, a short holiday, not everyone's at full fitness. So we know that there will be rotations at times, and everyone needs to be ready for the opportunity.
And I think we at ESPN, we put up a pretty interesting stat in the sense that Diego Simeone had been in charge of more games at Atletico Madrid than Leipzig have just played ever. And yeah. I mean, that is a crazy stat. Like, he speaks to the youth of Leipzig and the fact that it is such a young club, but in such a short amount of time, you guys have become, an absolute force. So what do you put that down to?
Yeah, I think that the philosophy that the club has had over the past years is, bringing in young talent and obviously developing them to the best possible way. We have a structure where in the training ground, we have so many young guys, whether it's in the academy or being bought at such a young age before they're kind of spotlighted by these, top clubs. So players like, Dayot Upamecano, who, is obviously brought from Salzburg. This is a player that has kind of been in the system for such a long time and understands exactly his role in the team. And, you see from performances like last night, this is no surprise to us of what he's capable of. And, some people are talking about, how he's going to be one of the best young center backs in the world. The first day I played with him, I knew right away he was going to be one of the best young center backs in the world. So they have a great eye for talent and bringing in players that are going to fit the philosophy of what they want to do.
And speaking of youngsters, you don't even have to look that far in terms of your gaffer right there with Julien Nagelsmann. I mean, it's outrageous. He's younger than James Milner, who is actually playing. It's people find that so hard to believe. But for you, what's I suppose the best thing about working with such a young manager? Because obviously he definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, his ideas are brilliant. I mean, you saw yesterday in the game of how we've managed that game and the different formations that we switched in and out of throughout that game to cause Atletico problems. He's one that pushes the envelope. He's not afraid to take risks. And he's a coach that, gives us the confidence to play brave and make mistakes. And, these types of things are okay. And, as a young player, when you're told, it's okay if you make mistakes, you go into games with full confidence, right? So I think that, for a young team, we have this fearless mentality. And obviously with a fearless coach, that makes it a lot easier.
And then, I mean, when you did score last night, I was literally just talking to my producer before this. I said, oh, my goodness, I think the U.S. probably is shooketh. And I knew that we had to mobilize to try and get you real quick to chat to you because it seems like it's such an exciting time for Americans in football or soccer, however you definitely want to call it, with the likes of you, Weston McKennie as well. We've spoken at length about Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna coming up the ranks too. Would you say that this is probably the best crop of, U.S. players or the most exciting time for Americans to be looking at in the sport?
Yeah, 100%. And, I've said before, so much of this is individual talent right now, right? So now it's a matter of when we're able to, put that national team jersey on and all represent our country at the same time that, we build that chemistry and continue to grow because, when a World Cup rolls around, we know that a lot of us are going to need to perform and most importantly, qualifying for a World Cup. So we have a lot to prove still, but we all have the right mentality and we're just going to take it day by day, game by game and continue to prove ourselves.
And then final question, I spoke to Robert Lewandowski literally about a week ago, and he said that for Bayern, and this is Lewandowski saying it, he said that he felt that this season was a lot more competitive than other seasons. He felt, you guys coming up to the heels of Bayern, and you gave them a good run for their money for sure. So do you feel like the Bundesliga is getting a bit more competitive and it's not just going to be the usual, say, Bayern and Dortmund that, make it a two-horse race for the title?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you saw last season, right, with Gladbach, ourselves, Leverkusen, there was such a push towards the end of the season for those top 4 spots. And even early on in the season, of course, we finished in first place throughout the first 6 months of the season. And then, with a little bit of a fall off, Corona, of course, that changed the circumstances. But, it's getting closer and closer. Bayern and Dortmund are obviously 2 world-class teams with world-class players. But we find ourselves with a young team and that fearless mentality being able to push the envelope and continue continue to challenge the race now.
All right, Tyler, well, you've gotten us super excited. All the best for the semifinals. I know it's a big match, but I'm pretty sure you can handle it. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.